You likely know a man like this one. He has brilliant ideas and very grand dreams. He seems like he was born for something truly extraordinary. He is always talking about all his incredible projects. He lives on possibilities, but never actually brings any of his great ideas to completion in the world. For every single one of his failures, he always has an excuse ready. He might say that it just wasn't the right time for him. He might also blame other people for his lack of success. Or he will claim that the world simply has not been able to understand his genius yet. This person could be someone you know well. He might be a childhood friend of yours, or perhaps he is your own younger brother. This man could even be your current boyfriend or your father. He is someone who, no matter his real age, seems to be completely stopped in time. He is a grown adult, but still behaves like a young boy. He is often emotionally unstable and dislikes making any kind of serious commitments to others. This man is always looking for more freedom in his life. He constantly runs away from any real responsibility, always avoiding the necessary hard work. Maybe a small part of you still holds on to the hope that he will change. You keep on waiting for him to finally grow up. The famous psychologist Carl Jung gave a specific name to this pattern. He called this psychic pattern the Puer Aeternus, which means the eternal boy. This term is used to describe the archetype of a man who refuses to grow up. He is a person living in an eternal state of transition. It is as if he is always just preparing to live his life. The problem, however, is that he never actually gets around to starting it. His youthful energy can be very charming and quite enchanting. People are often drawn to his creative mind and his fun, spontaneous way of being. But there is a dark shadow that is hidden behind this man's charm. He has a total inability to deal with the demands of the real world. The eternal boy, or Puer, expects that life should just bend to his will. He wants everything to conform to his own personal desires. He expects that other people will solve his problems for him. He wants others to face the difficult situations that he refuses to confront himself. He has a strong tendency to idealize everything and everyone. He is always on the hunt for the perfect woman, the perfect job, or the perfect life. When the reality of a situation does not match his fantasies, he flees. When things get difficult for him, he decides to just break away. He will simply give up on the project or the person. Then, he returns to his familiar cycle of having unfulfilled dreams and grand ideas. He views himself as being far too special for a normal life. He sees having a routine as a form of mediocrity he shouldn't endure. In reality, he is just completely paralyzed by his own fear. He is deeply scared of failing, of being frustrated, and mostly of just growing up. If you have ever made an attempt to help a man like this, you will already know how exhausting and tiring it can be for you. You will probably get tired of giving him advice that he never listens to. You get tired of offering your support when it is always wasted. It feels like you are trying to pull someone along who, deep down, has no desire at all to actually move forward in their own life. The cruelest part of this whole situation is that he often makes you feel guilty. He can make you feel like you are the problem. He might tell you that you demand too much from him. He might blame you for wanting him to mature or for not accepting him. The truth about this situation, however, needs to be said. This man that you know is not free. He is actually trapped inside a prison. He is trapped inside his own fantasy of what freedom is. In reality, this freedom is a prison built from his fear and his immaturity. If this man doesn't wake up from his fantasy, he will grow old. He will go through his entire life without ever having truly lived at all. This explanation is not meant to be an attack on anyone. Instead, you should think of it as being a mirror that can reflect the truth. If you can recognize this pattern, it might be in someone close. Or you might even recognize parts of this pattern deep down inside yourself. The Puer Aeternus is more than a simple personality type. It is a deep psychic force that operates in the unconscious minds of many men. This particular pattern is often mistaken for other, more positive traits. People might see it as charisma, spontaneity, or being what is called a free spirit. But behind this light and charming appearance, there is something much more serious. There is a deep and almost instinctive refusal to finally grow up. Carl Jung observed this specific pattern in his various patients. He also found it described in many myths and stories throughout all of human history. The eternal boy is someone who refuses to leave his childhood paradise. He wants to stay in the psychic womb where everything is safe. He lives his life in the shadow of a big promise. He believes a glorious tomorrow will come, but that wonderful day never actually arrives. He sees himself as a special or a chosen one. In his own mind, he is the eternal son of the gods destined for greatness. But in his actual, real life, he never takes charge. He fails to take responsibility for his own life or the daily choices he makes. You have probably seen this kind of behavior up close. These are the men who will often jump from one job to the next job. They will start many different projects with a lot of enthusiasm, but then they abandon them as soon as they face the very first obstacle. They also tend to fall in love very intensely and very quickly, but they will disappear as soon as the relationship demands maturity and commitment. They might talk a lot about many very big ideas. This includes things like spirituality and self-knowledge, but their daily life doesn't reflect these ideas. It is not because they are lacking in intelligence or talent. The eternal boy is often quite brilliant, sensitive, and full of great potential. He has a very strong and lively connection to his own creativity. He also has a powerful imagination and can find a lot of inspiration. Because of all this, he lives mostly in the world of ideas. This allows him to escape the real weight and responsibility of everyday reality. He wants to be able to fly without having to build wings. He wants love without commitment, and he wants to have success without effort. He desires all the rewards that come along with being an adult, but he does not want to pay the high price of maturity. When the world does not give him exactly what he wants, he revolts. He gets angry and blames everyone and everything, but never blames himself. Jung said that the eternal boy has a disconnection with time. He is always living in a state of not now, waiting for something else. He is always waiting for the perfect moment that will never arrive. This could be the right idea, the right woman, or the right phase. He chooses to live his life in the future, when, never in the today. And because of this constant waiting, he does not truly live. He only just survives through life. He is fed by his own dreams, but over time, these dreams start to become heavy burdens for him. However, there is another important side to this whole story. The boy inside the man, while immature, also carries a very powerful creative force. He is the true source of a person's inner youth. He provides the creative imagination and the ability to completely reinvent one's own life. The real problem is not the boy that exists inside the man. The real problem starts when that inner boy takes complete control of his existence. The man who is dominated by this archetype can seem very magnetic. He is light, spontaneous, and he often speaks like a true poet. He dreams just like a visionary would. He seems to live outside of normal time, not accepting labels or clinging to anything or anyone. For many people, this can be a very fascinating way to live. He appears to be completely free in a world that can feel suffocating. But this is precisely where the trap lies for him. The freedom that he appears to have is only an illusion he carefully creates for himself. It is a disguise he uses to hide what he fears the most. The thing that he is most afraid of facing in his life is reality. The eternal boy is not really free at all. He is a fugitive. He is always running away from pain, failure, rejection, and time itself. He is always trying to escape the heavy weight of being responsible. He doesn't want to be in charge of his own life's outcomes. Every choice he avoids and decision he postpones makes his prison stronger. His prison is just disguised to look like it is his personal autonomy. For instance, he says he does not want a conventional job. He claims that he was born for something much greater, but he is just terrified. He says he doesn't want to tie himself to any one person. He claims relationships are prisons, but he's really afraid of true surrendering. He claims that he hates all of the rules of society. But deep down, the real truth is that he just doesn't know how to deal with limits. The freedom that he pretends to have is a childish refusal. He refuses to confront the harshness of life and the fact it can be difficult. Jung said this type of man lives in a state of suspension. He is always floating between heaven and earth, refusing to land. He does not want to plant any roots into the ground. He also does not want to deal with the concrete, real things that make up life. But the ultimate truth is that without any roots, nothing can grow. Without putting in real effort, nothing can truly flourish and become beautiful. Real freedom is not about having no limits at all. True freedom is the ability to consciously choose what things deserve your personal commitment. The eternal boy does not choose. He just escapes from things. In this escape, he sabotages his own life and hurts the people who love him. At the beginning, a relationship with him seems very enchanting. He has an energy that attracts people and inspires them with his great passion. But over a period of time, that initial shine starts to fade. What once seemed like a charming likeness soon turns into a painful absence. The shadow side of the man-child is quite sneaky. It will show itself in small acts of self-sabotage that he does in his daily life. He might forget his important commitments or miss his deadlines. He is often financially disorganized, and he will abruptly change his mind about things. He will wrap all of this bad behavior up in a poetic narrative. He might say things like, "I am not ready," or "I need time." The real truth that is behind all his excuses is much harsher. The reality is that he is simply afraid of growing up and making mistakes. This pattern of self-sabotage eventually affects everyone who is around him. His romantic partners feel the anguish of loving an absent man. His family members get frustrated when they see him wasting his talent. His friends get tired of supporting someone who never moved forward. He does not even realize that he is destroying himself with his actions. Worse, he believes that other people are the ones with the problem. He will accuse the world of being boring and far too rigid. He sees people who have matured as traitors who have given up on freedom. The solution is not to deny this shadow part of his personality. Instead, the darkness and the fear must be faced directly and made conscious. A man like this will rarely exist all alone. There is often a silent figure behind him, feeding his behavior and keeping him trapped. Carl Jung's psychology gives this figure a name, this archetypal mother. When her presence is too strong, she becomes the devouring mother. This mother figure can be a literal, real person in his life. She might be an overprotective mother who never let her son become autonomous. It can also be a more symbolic figure in his daily life. For example, this could be a partner who takes on the caregiver role. This man then seeks a substitute for his mother in relationships. He wants someone who will understand him without demanding anything from him in return. This kind of symbiotic relationship is deeply destructive for both people. It prevents him from ever having to confront the world and finally grow up. The path towards maturity requires a difficult breaking point. This is the moment when the pain of immaturity becomes greater than the fear of growing. Jung described this painful process as individuation. He said it is like a psychic birth, and like any birth, it involves pain and symbolic death. The very first step on this difficult path is to face the collapse of fantasy. It is the moment you finally understand life won't wait. For this major change to happen, a person must go through a process of mourning. He has to mourn the idealized boy he once imagined. Killing the boy does not mean you have to suffocate your creativity. It simply means you can no longer use the boy as an excuse to escape. The inner boy is allowed to continue to exist inside the man. But from now on, he must exist under the leadership of the man. Maturity requires building a new kind of internal structure and consistency. It means committing to things even when you would rather just escape. When the eternal boy is integrated into the adult man, he transforms. He becomes a source of creativity that is guided by a firm psyche. This difficult and painful process is the true rebirth of the man. The eternal boy finally stops running away from reality and builds a life with it. True freedom is not just about doing whatever you want. It is having enough internal structure to be able to choose what is truly necessary.